Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, so we're back once again with another reaction video, and this time I want to check out some videos. This one's called I'm Not Homophobic. It's by Not Even Emily. I've got one called Militia Funeral, Militia Funeral by Gilly and Keeves, and then we've got The Rock Most Savage Moment. So I would say that I am pretty familiar with Not Even Emily. I don't think I've seen this particular video, but I'm pretty familiar with Not Even Emily. She's a funny gal. Gilly and Keeves, yeah, funny channel. And then The Rock, yeah, I mean, who doesn't know The Rock at this point? Like, I've been watching The Rock since probably the late 90s, I think. I mean, I think he started wrestling in the mid 90s, but I started watching him probably around about the late 90s, and, you know, watched his wrestling career, then of course going into TV, movies, and he's just like taken over the world since then. So yeah, if you don't know The Rock, you've probably been living under a rock. That's how that goes. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the first video. It's called I'm Not Homophobic by Not Even Emily. Is she not homophobic? I don't know, guess we're about to find out.
How to react when a loved one may come out as gay, bisexual, even pansexual, or
Could also include goats.
their son Trevor is about to come out to them. Mom, Dad, I'm gay. Is that it? Oh, thank God, I thought you had an STD. Oh, that's a relief, honestly. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, was a great response to Trevor's coming out. Besides the mention of STDs, that is not usually included. I actually have something to confess as well. Alright, what is it? I'm gay too, son. What? I'm gay, sweetie. Oh no, don't call me sweetie. Mrs. Smith does not seem to be as accepting
getting a bit awkward
anymore.
now, huh?
No, I'm accepting of all people, but this is my husband. It is very important to treat all people with kindness and respect. As you
Hey, what to respect?
No, shut up. Listen, if you can't find a mug with abstract art, then you go paint one. I know you have arthritis, but could have gone faster than that.
Arthritis. By the way, you know why they call it arthritis? Because like, when it was being discovered, they didn't really know what it was, and so this guy was having trouble writing, and they were trying to test him out. They said, "Hey, Arthur, write this."
Were you ever even attracted to me? Barbara, of course not. I'm gay. Weren't you listening? Because he teaches ballet?
I mean,
Seems like a stereotype to me. She's right. Honestly, it's not cool.
I mean, I'm just
Does
saying.
no one care that our marriage is literally falling apart?
So that was I'm Not Homophobic by Not Even Emily, coming out to your family. You know what? Yeah, things have changed a lot. I mean, well, from my perspective, as a non-homosexual, it feels like things have changed a lot. I mean, I'm not saying everything's great for the LGBT community right now. I'm sure it is not. But I do feel like things have changed a lot in the sense that I can remember, you know, when I was in school, calling people gay, and it was like a very common thing as an insult. There weren't any gay people in my school at the time, or more specifically, there weren't any out gay people in my school at the time. And it was one of these things where it's like, there was a few people I heard about, it was like, oh really? Then there's a few people I heard about, it was like, yeah, that one is a surprise. Yeah, it was like that. Like if people were gay, you wouldn't have said anything, because their general kind of environment was, I don't know if hostile is the right way to put it, but certainly not welcoming, you know? It certainly wasn't welcoming. And maybe even a hostile in some cases as well. So yeah, it was one of these things where anybody who was gay at the time would not have told very many, if anybody. Like, there's one guy in particular when I heard about, it was like, not even surprised. But yeah, so it does feel like, at least from my perspective as an outsider looking in, that it does feel like things have changed, which I mean ultimately it is good to be more accepted. I kind of feel like you don't necessarily have to like what people do, and you don't have to like, you know, how they live their life and things like that. That's not necessary for you to like or dislike. That's really irrelevant. You know, I think what it ultimately comes down to, at least in my mind, is that recognize another person as a human being and treat them with the same level of respect that you would hope somebody treats you. You know, whether somebody's gay or whatever, that shouldn't really come into it, because ultimately it's like it's none of your business. You know what I mean? Not to do with me, not to do with anybody but the people involved. So why concern yourself with things that don't concern you? But anyway, let's move on to the next video. I think my Bluetooth headphone battery just ran out actually, so this could be awkward. All right, so this is Militia Funeral by Gilly and Keeves. Let's check this one out.
Jerry's dead. You're gonna miss him. We'd like to present the wife of a fallen soldier with a folded
Kid Rock.
American flag.
Ah, damn, American badass.
I was in the Navy for a couple weeks. They tossed me out though because I couldn't swim.
Swim.
Yeah, because you're a gang. Exactly. Where do y'all even meet?
How can we be a gang? We're white.
That's what it is.
This is a well-regulated militia.
Oh, cool, man.
What are you laughing at, fat Matrix?
Oh, now you got him started. That was the last thing you wanted.
As far as I'm concerned, this is sacred ground for all of us.
Yeah, can't we all
And
just
I'll
get
be
along?
damned if-
Oh, fuck, that is a dude. That is a fucking dude. Oh, fuck.
Oh, mate. You know what? Gilly and Keeves, man. Big up Gilly and Keeves. Every time. Yeah, you know what? Can't we all just get along? One man's militia is another man's gang. But, yeah, you know what? That was funny. You know, we're all here to remember somebody, you know, on sacred grounds. Whether you're hit by a tree or beat to death by teens at, was it Walmart or Walgreens? You know, we're all here to remember a friend, so let's do that. But maybe don't get mistaken for an animal and hunting season. All right, so last video. This is called The Rock's Most Savage Moments, saying, yeah, man knows about The Rock. So I've probably seen quite a few of these already, if not all of them already. But even still, let's take a trip down memory lane.
The fact that you are that entertaining when you still wear llama penises strapped to your head. And the referee being played by that prostitute in training. What?
Oh, shit.
Bob? But my name's
The Rock was
Billy.
just something
It
else back in the day,
doesn't
man.
matter what your name is.
It was just on a different
Well, just
level.
like The Rock left his heart in San Francisco, you have clearly left your balls in Stamford, Connecticut.
That we are the.
It doesn't matter.
The Rock, the man, and you looking like a broke-ass Burger King on crack. Los Angeles, all to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. I remember that one.
Stone Cold has come.
Oh, he took Steve
You
Austin's
understand
mic.
something. You don't come out, don't grab The Rock's mic.
Oh, man. Yeah, I definitely remember quite a few of those. I used to watch wrestling. I think, like, when I was maybe, probably like 11, 12 years old. But before, like, back in the day, it was called WWF. And back in, like, maybe sort of early 90s, the only way you can watch it is on Sky TV. And we didn't have Sky TV. So the only way I could watch it is, like, if I could, at a friend's house or, you know, if somebody let me a tape or something like that. So I wouldn't see it very often. But I remember, like, being in school. I remember, like, people, like, bring the toys in. I remember, like, play wrestling in the playground and stuff like that. So I remember definitely it being around. But it wasn't until maybe, like, I think, like, I want to say, like, 97, 98 is when we got, it wasn't even Sky, it was something called On Live. That was like a relatively new thing back then. But at this point, I kind of forgotten about wrestling, right? But then I remember just like surfing through the channels and seeing like, I feel it was like Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian. And I was like, oh wow, I remember this. And then started watching it and kind of got back into it from there. And then I remember seeing The Rock. I remember the first time I saw The Rock, he kind of came out and first time I seen him, so I've never heard of him before. So I know now that he's been wrestling for, you know, a while before that. They kind of made him look like a mid-card wrestler, you know, not quite the top guy, more like a mid-card, undercard wrestler. That's how they kind of made him look at when I saw him for the first time. But I remember like watching him and just seeing how funny he was and just like how savage he was and thinking, why is this guy should be, and of course I found out later that no, he was a top guy, it's just the way it made him look in that particular show. But yeah, he was a top guy then, he was a top guy from before, and he was a top guy after that. And yeah, definitely one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. His entertainment value from his wrestling, and people don't give him enough props for wrestling. Like, I mean, look, I know he was more of the guy on the mic, and that's kind of how he made his name. But he was still a good wrestler as well. Like, he still was able to get in the ring and, you know what he's doing in the ring and you know, bust out some really cool moves. You know, he wasn't like the best wrestler if you want to talk about best technical wrestlers. You know, not quite, but he was still pretty damn good in the ring as well. So I feel like he was like the all-round kind of total package when it comes to sports entertainment and what WWF was at the time, well, now WWE, and just what it represented. And, you know, a lot of people say like, you know, the WWE took a massive dive ever since he left. I don't think it took a massive dive. I would say that his absence is definitely felt. I would say that. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, I'm not watching wrestling as much right now, but from what I am seeing of it and what I have watched of it since he's left and in sort of previous years, you know, there's definitely some people doing really amazing things in the WWE and right now. Unfortunately, they're not all getting the sort of pushes that they should be. They're not all getting used as they should be. And there's a massive issue right now with like a bunch of wrestlers getting released, like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, big up The Rock, big up Gilly and Keeves, big up Not Even Emily. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of what we just watched. Let me know if you have any recommendations. Send them through and I'll see what I can do. Like, share, subscribe, because we're doing this thing. And until whenever, if ever, peace.